Animal Crossing is a lot of fun. That's true for all of the games in the series, but New Horizons has already given me way more enjoyment than I expected, as you can probably guess from the title. As such, I wanted to just sort of make a relaxing video, chatting about the game and talking about some areas I'd love to either see expanded or polished up. First off, I'd like to commend Mr. Nintendo for the strides made in this game's tool inventory system. All of the tools make sense, and the purchasable tool wheel function makes swapping tools much smoother than in previous games. That said, I don't even mind that they break that often, but can we get some kind of durability indicator? I'd love to see a small progress bar on them, or even a little green, yellow, and red border to reflect its current state would do a lot to alleviate confusion. Also, since we can now gather materials for crafting and place way more stuff outdoors, the purchasable inventory expansions are greatly welcome. While I'm not about to argue we need even more slots, though I wouldn't complain about that, it's minor, but I feel like manila clams we dig up from the beach should stack. I mean, as of making this video, they're only used to be crafted into baits, which does stack, so their oddly cumbersome nature feels weird amongst everything else. Oh, and like all the rest of these opinions, this is super minor, but I'd love to see an option to chow down on more than a single fruit at a time. I know you can eat 10 turnips at once, but I'd rather not have to eat my stonks just for a little convenience, if at all possible. Adjacent to that, I really enjoy the inclusion of DIY crafting for this game. It lets me feel like I'm legitimately helping build this island up one item at a time, way more than I did as the mayor in New Leaf. That said, it's not flawless. I know I'm not alone in this, but it's pretty annoying that we don't have the option to craft multiple items at once. Sure, I doubt I want to make a pile of bonfires at once, but when we can make things either used or kept in bulk like fences, bait, medicine, and pitfall seeds, an added option to craft multiples at once would be awesome. Oh, and on that topic, I feel like we really should be allowed to craft items by automatically pulling resources from our home storage, assuming the crafting bench is used inside said home. I mean, they already have the very much welcomed and implemented feature for clothing via outfit changing wherever you go, so I don't feel like it's necessarily a programming hurdle. It would just cut down a little bit of tedium. Oh, and this might be a pipe dream, but I really wish the later game golden tools you craft were unbreakable. That would be cool, though I understand why they don't want to go that route. Switching gears a bit, I wish we could buy multiple items of the same type from the Able Sisters. At the moment, when you walk into the dressing room, you can purchase a full outfit at once, meaning one shirt, one bottom, one hat, an accessory, so on. If you want to buy multiple colors of a shirt, or God forbid, multiple of one type of thing, you're going to have to be walking in and out of the dressing room for potentially 5, 10, or even 20 minutes. Considering they already allow you to ship home the clothing that you were wearing that got overwritten by your new purchase, it would be great to see us be able to buy a bunch of stuff at once and have it shipped home. Another big convenience I'd love to see implemented is some way to store turnips. Now, I'm not talking about preventing them from spoiling at all. I think that's fine. I'm just talking about some way to keep them off the ground or floor throughout the week while waiting for a good price. I know they're not making this game specifically for those hardcore people that are trying to make trillions of bells a week, but considering that most of the price patterns can take until sometimes Thursday or Friday to spike, even the most casual of an investor will have to lay out their turnips somewhere. If they wanted to keep it separate from the home storage, a purchasable turnip safe, freezer, or chest could be something that is a good alternative for that. While we're talking about stuff in the home, aquariums. I know the museum already has donated fish lovingly housed in beautiful displays, but I know I'm not alone in wanting to have their fish have a home in their home. The default tank most fish are stored in works well enough, but a bigger, fancier aquarium that the fish could be deposited into would be greatly appreciated. Outdoors, this game is light years better than previous in terms of decoration options. I love the flowers, the bushes, the fences, the paths, and oh man, the terraforming. All that said, while we're not lacking for options, more types of fences would be greatly welcomed, or even the ability to customize and paint them. Same for the paths. It'd be nice if we had more options, or if you just prevented custom designs placed on paths with the path tool from being scrubbed away with the Y button. I know this might be undoable from a graphical or perhaps like a design standpoint, but it would be lovely to have seamless transitions between two non-grass path types. At the moment, if you have two different paths next to each other, there's always going to be a little strip of grass. It's not the biggest issue at all, but it would be something I would love to see addressed if possible. Oh, and can we please have the ability to curve the inner corner of paths? We can curve the outer corner, but not the inner. That'd be lovely. Continuing with the topic of terraforming, like a lot of this video, this might not apply to all players, but still, it would be great to be able to place down more than a single square of path at a time. The current method of having your character step forward, swipe at the ground, step forward, swipe at the ground, step forward, swipe at the ground, it works, yeah, but I wish we had a better way. My go-to idea is either like, I don't know, like a push cards or even a Splatoon roller to let us start a path and slowly push it forward and turn at right angles. It doesn't even need to be that fast, just something to reduce the tedium required with the current methods. Also, I wish we had a way to visualize and potentially work with the grid outdoors. Indoors, we have the fantastic home organization tool, which makes it sort of like a Sims game. That's awesome. It's incredible. Love it. Just so good. But I know asking for the same tool outdoors might be a bit much, but hey, if we could somehow get some of that goodness outdoors, potentially as like a late game purchasable upgrade, that would be awesome. As for infrastructure, I'm sure many players have run into the issue of having to demolish a bridge or incline, which takes a day, and then build a new one, which also takes a day. All of that so they can either upgrade or move a structure is pretty annoying. Considering they can use like a crane to lift up an entire house and relocate it in a single day, it would be wonderful to do the same with inclines or bridges, perhaps for an extra cost. Just the same, it'd be nice to upgrade those structures without having to go through the whole process. Oh, and allowing bridges to be made over gaps without water, sort of like over canyons, would be amazing. Lastly, can we please have the ability to relocate the representative building? Like, I know it introduced some issues, but my main plaza and sort of like town hall are literally 1 square from being perfectly lined up with the road to the docks, and it hurts my soul. Now, I'd like to talk about some of the other quality of life stuff on my mind. I know this probably hasn't happened to most people, but it's possible to have a situation where items get sucked into the void. I'm not talking about balloon presents dropping into the water. No, that's understandable. I'm talking about where an item, for whatever reason, is dropped from a balloon, tree, or something, but the game cannot bounce it to a viable spot, and as such, it has it shrink and disappear. The best way I know to recreate this is with coconut trees next to the slope of a beach next to a cliff. Obviously, this isn't a glitch, but in this very limited situation, these items are just gone. That'd be fine if there wasn't a box literally called the Lost and Found in the Island Resident Services building. Having them show up there would be awesome. A way bigger headache people have probably run into is how this game handles multiple profiles on the same Nintendo Switch. For reference, you can only have 1 island per Switch, with the first profile that starts things up as the island representative. The rest are just residents, which is fine except for the fact that they can't directly contribute to some of the island's upgrades, and it's the island representative that has to do most of the logistical stuff. I'm being a bit vague because I haven't really gone through this whole process myself, but from everything I've seen, it sort of feels like the non-representative player is almost like a second-class citizen, and it's really disappointing that there's no way to, at least currently, transfer the island representative role from one user to another, which is pretty unfortunate. Now, the last of my quality of life wish list pertains to the island airport. This place is definitely functional and it does get the job done. That said, I really wish there was a better layout for the airport menu options rather than being stuck within the tree of dialogue options. I mean, okay, so off the top of my head, the list of things you can do by speaking to Orville is open the gates for friends, open the gates for best friends, open the gates with the Dodo code for friends, open the gates with the Dodo code for best friends, open the gates with the Dodo code for anyone, and then confirm that yes, you want to in fact do that. Close the gates, visit someone via local play, visit someone else's islands via your friends list, visit someone else's islands via Dodo code, visit Harvard Island, visit a random island with a local wall ticket. Even some of the more simple travel plans can have 5 or 6 different dialogue interactions, which seems a bit too convoluted. I really wish Orville instead let you interact with like a better menu or perhaps a kiosk that had some of these options laid out in a more logical way. To sort of illustrate that, there was a little mock-up made by the folks who run the Crossing Guides Twitter and Instagram page, as you can see here, which displays which islands are currently available. That's awesome. If we could have something like that for the rest of the airport options, it would be great. Now, before we finish off the video with some brand new stuff I would love to see added for fun, I want to clarify something. I hope I haven't come across as some entitled fan demanding change, but rather someone who really loves this game, because I do, and I would love to see it made even better. It's possible that some of this stuff may be on the way or potentially never added, and either outcome is totally fun. that out of the way, I demand that you let us sing with our villagers. They are so cute, belting out their little meh, 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 alongside every microphone and speaker they come across, and it feels criminal that we can't join in. Also, why can't we participate in stretching exercises with them? Just like, please let us. Also, even if it's single player alone, I want to kick the soccer ball. It was possible in GameCube. I know it's... Okay, I might be a little bitter because I put together a soccer field just for a ball that only bounces up and down, but a soccer ball is made for kicking and I want to kick it. For real. There's a lot of little immersive changes and additions that could be made, and any and all of them would be graciously welcomed. Some other pipe dreams that I have are maybe some kind of way, maybe through the infrastructure options, is to designate an area for certain travelers like CJ, Flake, Sahara, Daisy May, and Celeste. These kind folks show up on your island, often just wander around, which is fine early on, but as we gain mastery of our island and in some cases make islands that are really hard to navigate for these characters, it would be wonderful to designate a spot where they can temporarily set up shop, similar to how Kick and Leaf do in the plaza. Also, some way to better influence villagers into hanging out in some places would be great, because like I have multiple jocks who keep talking about wanting a gym on the island only to never visit the outdoor gym I made with my two little spherical hands. Oh, and lastly, it would be incredible if we had some way to build some walls and maybe a floor outdoors, it doesn't even have to be that big, just to allow us to use wallpaper, flooring, rugs, and wall decorations outside of the home. That would be great. Anyways, I feel like I've rambled long enough, so I'll wrap things up by thanking my channel members for their amazing support, with especially big thanks to Christy Cuntris, Pseudonymous, Jermanger, The Weird Gamer, and Thomas the Dank 199 for being super fans. If you enjoyed this video and aren't already, why not consider subscribing? I always got some more videos in the works on the way, you know how it goes. There's some links on the screen that you're welcome to click if you want, but that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.